Great. Have a nice afternoon. That's the talk. So our talk today, because I should talk, right? Yeah, okay, yeah. Is plumbing the depths of mind. I'm going to say it's plumbing the depths of mind and heart. And the vision, the statement from Ernest Holmes from the What I Believe is, we believe in the direct revelation of truth through the intuitive and spiritual nature of the individual. We're here to be revealers of a truth that is already existent. We're here to be individualized expressions of that truth. I heard somebody told me a little story, or not exactly a joke, but a little story the other night, and they said that this man dies and goes up to the pearly gates, and St. Peter greets him, and he goes, "How was heaven?" St. Peter asked the man, "How was heaven?" "You were there. This is it." How was heaven? How's heaven going for you guys today? Yeah. We're in. We're here. You know, there was a Zen monk who was passing away, a master who was on his deathbed, and his followers and disciples and friends were all standing around crying and grieving. And he goes, "Why are you grieving?" And they say, "Because you're leaving us, and we don't want you to leave." And he goes, "Where am I going?" This is it. This is it. If God is all there is, there's nowhere else to go or be, right? This is it. How fun. If you want to see the face of God, look at the person next to you. If you want to see an angel, look at the person next to you. And make sure that you look at yourself too. Because we're all part of that. So there's one mind. One mind. I can hear Ernest Holmes in one of his talks going, "There's only one. One, 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 one." It's like, okay, got it. Actually, that phrase goes through my mind every once in a while when I'm beginning to believe in a duality. Them, they, those out there. And I keep hearing Ernest go, "There's only one. One, 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 one." You know, and it's like, okay, come back to that awareness. There's only one mind. There's only one life. There's only one heart. There's only one presence. And we get to use it. That's the fun stuff, right? We use it. We don't have to create it. We don't have to make stuff up. We use it. We use what is already there. It creates for us, and it creates through us. I get to be the open vessel. I think of it as the difference between rowing, out there on the ocean, rowing about hard work, right? Anybody ever do rowing? Okay, a little bit challenging. Or sailing. With a sail, you simply put the sail up and you catch the prevailing wind and let it move the boat. See, Spirit is the prevailing wind. And all we got to do is put the sail of our consciousness up, steer it with the rudder of our choice and our direction, and allow ourselves to be moved through life. Do we put our sail up? And what kind of a sail do we put up? You know, I love to watch the America's Cup and racing yachts. You know, they put up this scientifically designed, super high efficiency, huge sails that power the boats at very high speeds for a sailing boat over the ocean. You know, what kind of sail do we put up? Do we put up something to collect a whole lot of spirit and move through life with power and with grace and with quickness? Or do we put up a little,
An old t-shirt.
a handkerchief? What?
Yeah, an old t-shirt.
An old t-shirt, yeah. I think of when I think of the one mind and our expression of it, there's the idea in quantum physics of local and non-local events. A non-local event is something that happens without space and time. There's no space or time, there's no location for it. It's happening, it just is, it's the beingness. And then it's localized. So when I look at the infinite field of possibility and I localize it and I observe it and it starts to form into a particle in the place where I expect it, that's a localized event. Okay? We're a localized event. I love the reading where it says that we are open, everyone is the universal on the subjective side of life. So we are totally connected to this infinite mind, this infinite oneness. In fact, it's beyond a connection because you can break a connection. We are it. It is us. There's no separation. There's nothing in the way. And then we get to express it out on the consciousness at the point of conscious perception. So we get to take this infinite presence and bring it in and call it, this is my individualized use of that. So if I go out and I say, I want to play with the God quality of beauty, I individualize it. I might individualize it as a rose garden. I might individualize it as a painting. I might individualize it as a song or singing beautiful music. I get to individualize. I might individualize it as a wonderful meal. I might individualize it as a delicious piece of chocolate truffle. Oh yeah. But I get to individually use that infinite presence and bring it into my life. And the good, bad news is we're always doing that. We're always using this presence. We're always individualizing it into our lives. Intuition is the process of becoming aware of the connection, of connecting from the conscious part of our lives, this part that we live out here as individualized beings, into the infinite part. The intuition is that which connects us with the deeper wisdom within us. I talked recently about horizon lines. We have a horizon line. There's only so far any of us can see, right? There's only so far we can see. But there's more beyond that. There's always more beyond our horizon. The intuition is that which taps us into what's beyond. What's beyond my individualized perception of life? How can I get in touch with that? And I can get in touch with that by listening to the intuition, and the intuition puts me in touch with that aspect of myself, I like to call it the capital S self, that moves me into a greater awareness of life and moves me into new ideas, and a fresh way of perceiving. So I want to work with the metaphor of plumbing. Cherie asked me this morning, or a couple days ago, what should the treatment be about? I said, we're going to talk about plumbing. So she had a great plumbing treatment this morning. But we're plumbing the depths of mind. So plumbing, as water flows through plumbing, right? It's influenced by the plumbing. Yes? It's influenced by the plumbing, okay? And the water can begin to be as pure water, but it gets influenced as it goes through the piping, as it goes through the plumbing. And if you've got beautiful clear pipes and large pipes, you're going to get a great flow of water. If you've got pipes that are corroded or have, build up inside of them, where they're smaller than normal, you're going to get less flow. If you have pipes with corrosion, with rust, with lead, with bacteria or algae in them, you're going to get a certain experience with water, right? Probably not a pleasant one, If you look at plumbing as say a rubber hose, a garden hose that's been laying out in the sun for a while, every morning when I go watering, it's like I pick up the hose that's over in the front of my house, which faces east, and I got to let the water run through it for a few minutes because it's already hot water, and I don't want to dump hot water onto the plants. Got to let it cool for a little bit. But if we tasted that water, it might taste rubbery when it first comes out until we get the full rush of spirit, the full rush of fresh water. Okay? So the flow of spirit is the same way. It's the same way. It begins pure. We have these wonderful God qualities of life, of love, of beauty, of peace, of joy, of power, of intelligence. That's what we're living in. That's what we're living in. But the flow gets individualized through us. Now that's a good thing, because if we want to use it that way, okay, we get to create individually in this world what it is that we want. Where it gets to be a problem is when our pipes are corroded, right? When we've got heavy leaden thoughts, when we've got corrosive beliefs or emotions going through us. We've got thoughts that are infected with algae and bacteria. I hate when my thoughts get infected with algae and bacteria. I just hate it. If we've been stagnant too long and the first flow of spirit tastes rubbery, it tastes unpleasant. Oh, I've been stuck in this place for so long and now spirit wants to move me. Now I don't want to move. And so do we open to that? We only get in trouble with the flow of spirit when we're polluted. Yes. I've been polluted a few times in my life, and I've gotten in trouble when I'm polluted. Okay? And when we pollute our thoughts, when we pollute the flow of spirit with those thoughts that are out of harmony with nature, we experience that. And if our pipes are too small, or if our pipes are not going where we want, Can you imagine plumbing a home where you want to take the water and you want to send it up to the shower, but instead you run a pipe that goes to the den? How would that work for you? You're not going to get a good shower, and you're probably going to get a really wet den, right? Okay? And so are we in the direction that we want to go? Are we in the direction that we're being called to really open up and individualize this presence as? So as we clean out our pipes, which we want to do, we want to call in a plumber, right? And clean out the pipes if we need to. Got a couple of good plumbers sitting right here. They're called practitioners. We'll talk about that in a minute. If we want to clean out our pipes, if we want to, as Emerson says, get our bloated nothingness out of the way of the flow of the divine circuits. Sometimes that hurts. Sometimes that hurts me. Because I have to look at that and go, ooh, that's just a bunch of bloated nothingness right there. Okay? We open up to the full flow. We experience that life that is in alignment with the truth of Spirit. We experience that life of joy and of life energy and of aliveness and vibrancy. We experience that as we're clean, as we have clean pipes. Breathe that in with me. Imagine that you have clean pipes with Spirit right now. Maybe open up with your arms. Open up. Breathe in, good deep breath. And just say with me, my pipes to Spirit are clean. My pipes to Spirit are clear. We clean out our pipes by examination, by looking at them. You know, if you suddenly realize that your water is not tasting great, you probably call a plumber, right? If you notice the flow is down, you call Roto-Rooter or somebody like that. Okay? So we inspect our beliefs. If we want to clear out our own pipes, we have to look, and sometimes that's unpleasant, right? That's why we have somebody else. That's why I call plumbers. You know, I don't like to root around in the dirt of those pipes myself. You know, once in a while, I remember one time that a wife dropped a ring down the sink, and I had to go down to the trap and go get it. You know, it wasn't a pretty experience. So we have to inspect our beliefs. And if you want to know what your beliefs are, they show up as your life. Michael Beckwith says we don't have any secret thoughts. They manifest as our lives. They manifest as our lives. And for some of you, you're simply going, yeah, that's great. And others of you are going, yeah, let's not talk about that. But they show up as our lives. And the good news is, if you've got a trap full or pipe full of corrosion, you can clear it. And when you do, the end result will be something far more wonderful. It doesn't matter where you are now. In any area of your life, you can change it. That's our whole philosophy. Change your thinking, change your belief systems, change your life. Change the experience on the other end of it. And we get to change it. We get to change it. We don't have to wait for somebody else to do it for us. So how much good are you experiencing? Because there's no limit. We live in this infinitely good and abundant and joyous and loving universe. Infinite good, right? I use the metaphor every once in a while being like on a line. And so over here, I'm going to be careful of the monitor, but over here is absolute sickness and misery, and just your life is practically more than in the toilet. You know, it's flushed into the cesspool, okay? That's where your life is. And so you finally work, and you work, and you work, and you get over here to where you're not so sick anymore, out of alignment, out of disease, and you're comfortable. Things are okay. But what we forget is that if we start to move over here, there's a life of greater and greater and greater and infinite bliss that heads off into infinity. And most of us, many people, spend their time, once they kind of do some stuff, they spend their time right here. Kind of, it's comfortable. I'm pretty good. You know, I'm not miserable. Not super in bliss, but I'm not miserable. I'm okay. And over here, I have a friend, Amy Steinberg, who's a songwriter, and I have her a little bumper sticker that she was giving out for a while. It says, "Insist on bliss." It's on my door. Insist on bliss. Michael Beckwith would say, insist on excellence instead of mediocrity. Don't settle for mediocrity. Don't settle for, it's okay. Because there's so much more over here to play with, right? Right? We get to play here. And most of us say, but it's unknown, it's scary. The actual truth is, this is a whole lot more fun to play in than it is to get from here to here. Once you're here, this gets easier and is more playful and fun. You still have to do some work, but it's not the mind-numbing, emotionally draining, you want to go home and release things, meals, sort of work that you have to do to get from there to here. This is more fun and playful. And we have wonderful guides. These are bliss coaches over here. Our practitioners and our ministers. They're trained in that. So the question is, do you want to play with that? Do you want to play over here? How much good do you want to let through your pipes? So we clean our pipes out by, and I kind of already hinted at it, working with a practitioner. I would suggest, I work with a practitioner on a quarterly basis at least. I have a practitioner session with my practitioner every single quarter. I have a prayer partner that I have a regularly scheduled every 2-week session with. She's also a practitioner. Okay? I keep my pipes clean. I have a ministerial mentor that keeps my pipes clean. If I get out of line, she lets me know. Do we do that work? Do we take care of ourselves spiritually? A lot of us worry about our diet and what we're going to eat and stuff like that, and we're very careful about that. Do we feed ourselves spiritually? Do we engage in classes and practices that help us to get more conscious? More conscious, so we can actually look at our pipes. Do we work with another person, with another conscious being? Because the thing is that we all have blind spots. We all have blind spots. We all have things we think are normal. You're drinking your water and it's normal. You think it's just normal until somebody comes in and says, your water tastes terrible. And then you go to the next door neighbor's house and their water tastes great and you realize you got the problem. Okay? But you've adapted and it's become normal. We all tend to adapt. We're great at adapting, right, as human beings? And so it becomes normal. You know how to cook a frog, right? No. Slowly. If you put the frog into cold water and start to just warm it up gently, the frog won't move. He'll just sit there and cook. Okay? If you drop the frog into hot water or onto a hot frying pan, it'll jump right back out again because it's not going to take that. And so the places where it's too hot for us to live and too hot for us to enjoy are not because we got into a place and didn't just jump out right away. It's because we got comfortable in that place. And slowly, our pipes got corroded. And so that's where it's wonderful to work with a person who can help us to see our blind spots, who can help us to say, there's far more wonderful things you could have in life. I had a friend once who was hiking with a friend of hers, and she was about 12 steps behind him going up a trail, and the guy got to the top, and he said, look at this beautiful lake. And she was 12 steps behind him, and she goes, what lake? I don't see any lake. Okay? Because she wasn't high enough yet. She wasn't clear enough yet. Okay? Can we work with somebody who will support us in getting higher and more clear and more towards the bliss line than that? And so I invite you to have people who support you and to do practices that support you in continuous pipe clearing. Continuous pipe clearing. Because have you noticed, even your pipes at home, they clog, right? For those of us who have, hearts and veins and arteries and like that, which I think is probably everybody in this room, if we don't take care of them, they clog, right? Yes? Yeah. I'm glad Sue's not here because she'd be giving me a lecture right now on my own clogged pipes. But anyways. So we live in a universe of infinite good. We live in a universe of infinite good. We're immersed in it. We live in heaven right now. Breathe that in for a moment. Just breathe that in. I live in heaven right now. And we get to be in this dance of experiencing and expressing ever more of this good, ever more in our unique, individualized way of expressing it. Your life is your painting. Your life is your work of art. Your life is your heart expression in this world. So I want to take a few minutes and just do a little internal process, a little guided meditation to where we start to experience the one mind. Are you good with doing that? Great. So Damien's going to put on a little quiet music back there. We're going to take a deep breath. I'm going to invite you, if you feel comfortable, to gently close your eyes. Just relax into your chair. Let that chair just support you. Take another deep breath, in and out. Just relax and rest. And take one more deep breath. Notice if there's any chatter in the mind and just let it go. That mind chatter is just pipe clogging. You don't need it right now. And just become aware of yourself. Allow your awareness to come to the edge of your body, to the skin itself. Allow yourself to be aware of that edge, of that skin, from the top of your head all the way down through your shoulders, your arms, your torso, your legs, clear down to your feet. Be aware of the outer layer, the outer perimeter of your body. And then allow your consciousness to step out beyond that. Above your head, out beyond your skin. Be aware that there's more to you than just this physical body. Taking a breath, allow your consciousness to expand even a little farther out. We talk about various layers like our auras, and yet there's more than even that. And as you take another deep breath, imagine as you breathe in that your energy rises from the base of your spine, clear up through your body to the top of your head and then out beyond the top of your head. And again on the in-breath, just allow that in-breath to go clear to the base of your spine and lift the energy clear out above the top of your head. So that your awareness is moved a little bit outside your body. Imagine that you can look down and see yourself sitting in this chair, but not within yourself. And as you gain this vantage point, you notice out beyond what you thought were your horizon lines, that there is more. That there is this infinite love, this infinite wisdom, this infinite beauty. It is the nature of this universe and it is the nature of you. Allow yourself now to bring your attention to your heart center, both within and outside of your body. That beautiful center where you perceive love. And allow it to open to the love of the universe, flowing in and out. Notice if there's any blockages, any places where the flow doesn't flow as well as it might. And at least for the next couple of moments, allow those blockages to be set aside. Feel what it's like to have that heart pipeline open into the infinite love. Breathe that in, breathe that out. Let it infuse every cell of your body and every single energetic aspect of your being. And now move your attention down your body a little bit to just below your navel, about the thickness of 3 fingers below your navel. The Chinese call this point the Dantian. It's the power center, the center of balance, the center of the beingness. And allow this center to open up to the power of the universe, the power of love, the power of harmony, the power of joy, the power of bliss. Notice if there's any blockages in the flow of power. Fear of power, misuse of power. Wanting to play small and feel small. And let those simply fall away into the no-thingness that they truly are. So that you are connected and wide open to the pipeline of power of the universe. Again, a power of love. The ability to express the infinite into individualized form in the most beautiful way. breathe into this and just take a moment to explore yourself as this being that is open to the infinite. Open mind, open heart, open beingness, open body. This openness, this connection, this oneness is always, always, always available. And begin to bring your attention back within your body, within your skin. Allow yourself to take another deep breath and be fully present now, energized, open to the presence within your own body, within your own being. Every cell open and vibrating with this presence of love, of beauty, of intelligence, of power, of joy. As you take another deep breath, you allow yourself to be fully grounded in your body, fully grounded and aware of the chair you're sitting in, the room you're in. And when you're ready, very gently begin to open your eyes, and still with that light on, still with that power flowing, be fully present back in this room. We have the ability to live in that awareness. Not only do we have the ability, it's the desire of the universe to live as us in that kind of a consciousness. So I invite you this week to play with three things. First of all, we're going to contemplate the infinite nature. Take some time to contemplate the nature of the infinite. Take some time to put your awareness on this infinite nature. Emmett Fox says that we can solve every problem by thinking of God instead. There's a principle in the universe that says that whatever we put our attention on increases. So if I put my attention on infinite joy, infinite peace, infinite health, vibrant life energy, prosperity and abundant good, if I put my attention on this creativity, wisdom, if I put my attention on this, it will expand and grow in my life. And so I invite us this week to begin by contemplating that infinite nature, to become open and more aware of it. Just become aware of it. Take a little bit of time to contemplate it. And then secondly, as you go through your day, be aware that you're using it. Because we're using it constantly in every little detail of our lives. Each of us is using it right now. Each of us is using it right now. And so we simply look at our current creations, and they're just our current creations, that's all they are. And just like a painter, you know, if you don't like a painting, you do it over again. Okay? You can do it over again if you don't like the creation you have now. And listen with your intuition. Listen with your intuition. So that's the second practice. We're becoming aware of our use of it. And thirdly, we're going to consciously play with it. We're going to deliberately take this consciousness and set sail in a direction that we want to go. And so pick an area of your life that you would like to experience a greater flow of this infinite love, this infinite wisdom, this infinite good. And set an intention to start to do that. Pick an area of your life and imagine that infinite presence flowing right into that area. Opening up to that. So that's our practice this week. Contemplate it, be aware of my present use of it, and consciously choose where I want to play with it going forward. Do you want to join me in that? Sure. Yeah, I think it'd be wonderful. And again, you know, we've got wonderful ministers and practitioners. If you get stuck along the way, if your pipes get clogged along the way, or you notice that your pipes are already clogged and you want to open them up, they're happy to support you in that process. I want to close with a quote from Ernest Holmes. The Spirit can do for us only what it can do through us. Unless we provide the consciousness, it cannot make the gift. What we need is not some greater power, but a greater consciousness, a deeper realization of life, a more sublime concept of being, a more intimate concept of an already indwelling God who is personal to us, personal to each of us by virtue of being personified through us. This infinite presence works impartially, impersonally. It works impersonally, but it is highly personal because it is you and me. It's personified as you and me. You are the personification of God. Got that? You are the personification of God. And news for you, the person next to you is too. And whether we use it wisely or well, and sometimes we've been all had a little polluted lines, right? Whether we use it wisely or well, we are still the personification of God. So I invite you, I'm going to move into prayer this in a moment, but to take this out this week and to play with this, to personify God in a particular way that you want to. So let's move into prayer. So I recognize there is this one infinite presence, this one life, this one life. All there is. And it is so good. It is the life energy. It is the infinite love. It is the harmony, the wisdom, the abundant, ever-present good of this universe. It is all that there is. It is heaven right here, right now. And we are one of it. Because it is infinite, there's nowhere else to be. There's no separation from that. There's nothing of us that is separate from this infinite presence. Even if we forget that, we're still never separate from it. And we're always using it to create. Always using it to create. And so I speak my word that we use this infinite presence, this gift, this flow wisely and well for our and the world's highest and greatest joy, life, bliss. We step forward ever more fully and ever more expandedly as God beings, as personified forms of God, knowing that that is who we are. And in gratitude, because I know the power of each of us as we do this just a little bit more, the beauty and the wonder that it will create in our lives and the lives of this world. And so I'm grateful for each of us who is saying yes to this today. I'm grateful for our willingness to step forward as this infinite presence, to be courageous, to look at our pipes and clean them out, to go forward. I'm so grateful for each of us who is saying yes and expressing a willingness for this. And I'm grateful for the Spirit itself that moves through us right here, right now, and always. And so I release this word into a law that moves it into form, moves it into expression, in the most beautiful, perfect ways possible, right here, right now, in our lives. And it does so. And together we affirm that and acknowledge that by saying, and so it is. Thank you.